Alright, scholars, this is our listen and respond for this week. So this book is called A Place for Everything. Let's go ahead and check out the front cover. Looks like there is a little bunny and he's got a whole bunch of stuff in his hands. It's all flying everywhere. Let's check out the back. Alright, so just looks like some of the characters, and then it's talking about the 7 habits. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Putting our name at the top. And today's date is, what is today? I don't even know anymore. Let's look. 7th, so tomorrow's the 8th. So April 8th. The title of the story is A Place for Everything. Okay, so now we need a preview. We just looked at the front cover. So the book is called A Place for Everything, and I see this bunny and he has a whole bunch of stuff and it's kind of flying everywhere. So I think this book will be about putting things where they go. I think this because I see the title and the picture. I'm just gonna put pick on the cover. Has a lot of stuff. So go ahead and fill this out for both of these, and then whenever you're ready, we can get started reading. One day, Jumper Rabbit bounced by Uncle Bud's park. Pokey Porcupine, Stink Skunk, and Tagalong Alley the Mouse were playing a pickup game of basketball with some of the Badgers. Do you want to play? They asked. You betcha, said Jumper. But you can't play, Jumper, said Allie. You don't have any squeakers on. Flip-flops won't work. No problem, said Jumper. I'll race home and get my favorite basketball sneakers right now. So I'm going to pause right here because I think we have some of our characters already. Like we have Jumper, the bunny, right? So I'm going to write Jumper. We have Allie, and she's the mouse. So I'm going to put bunny in parentheses so I don't forget mouse. All right, I'm going to skip the next number 3 just until I know more about the characters. Let's see what happens next. But Jumper's hole was such a mess, he couldn't find his sneakers anywhere. They weren't in his closet, or under his bed, or with his sports gear. Jumper started tossing things out of his hole. Boink! Ouch, yelled Goob Bear. What you doing, Jumper? You got ants in your pants? I can't find my basketball sneakers, and I need them right now. Maybe you left them at Lily's yesterday, says Goob. So they raced across Cherry Creek to Lily's burrow, but the sneakers weren't there either. They looked for them at Sammy and Sophie's treehouse in Allie's sandbox. At Pokey's place and even in Goob's cave, still no sneakers. I'll never be able to play basketball again for the rest of my life, wailed Jumper. Chill, said Goob. They've got to be in your holes. Let's go back and look. When they got to Jumper's, Goob said, no wonder you can't find your sneakers. Your hole looks like a tornado hit it. My dad taught me a place for everything and everything in its place. What does that mean? Asked Jumper. Let's pause here. I'm going to go ahead and put Goob as the 3rd character. So Goob, G-O-O-B. He's a bear. All right, now I want you to come up with at least 2 for each person, or each character. Remember, you're going to do inner and outer traits. Inner traits are things you cannot see by looking. Outer are things you can see by looking, right? So Jumper is a bunny. That's an outer trait. right? Allie is a mouse. Goob is a bear. An inner trait for Jumper would be that he is disorganized, right? That means he doesn't have things in their proper place. So you come up with one for Allie and one for Goob. Let's check out this next question. What is the setting of the story? The setting of the story is, where is this happening? So the setting is always going to be a place. So just remember that if this is not a place, whatever you write here, then your answer is wrong. You need to go back and change it. The setting is a place where the story is happening. Where are they at? And then how does the setting match with what is happening with the characters? So think about it like this. A bunny rabbit and a bear and, these other creatures, would they hang out in a house? Is that where they normally hang out? Would they hang out at the mall? Is that where bunnies and bears normally hang out? Or would they hang out like in a forest or in a burrow? Think about, how does it go together? How does it match? And then you're going to write your answer right here. All right, make a prediction. Readers always guess what might happen next. So I think something that might happen next is, I think the bear, what's his name? Goob. So something I think might happen next is Goob will help Jumper clean his mess. I think this because he is explaining like how his dad taught him a place for everything. He's explaining why Jumper can't find his shoes. Okay, and then you come up with something else you think might happen next. All right, when you get that ready to go, we can go to the next page and see what happens. This is really hard to do. All right. It means you have to organize your things so you can find them. Otherwise, you waste a lot of time looking for stuff. Oh, said Jumper, can you help me to magnetize or whatever that word is? It took several hours to clean up the hole, but finally they found the basketball sneakers at the bottom of a big heap of smelly clothes. They also found other things Jumper had been missing for a long time, like his remote control helicopter and the silver dollar that his grandpa gave him. Let's pause right here because I think we have a good idea of what we could visualize for our next part of the story. So I want you to copy down exactly what I say in this part right here. I'm imagining the part in the story where Jumper's room is messy. So this should be the same on everybody's paper. I need you to copy exactly what I have. If you need to pause or rewind or do it over, you can. I'm going to go ahead and spell it out for you so you make sure you have the same thing that I have. Jumpers, J-U-M-P-E-R apostrophe S. Room, R-O-O-M. Is, I-S. Messy, M-E-S-S-Y. Jumper's room is messy. So we're thinking about the part when his room is messy. I'm imagining it looks like. So you're going to tell me, what do you think it looks like when it's messy? Then 3 things to describe this are, you're going to tell me specific things that you can see when you see his room. So one of the things they said was that he had a pile of dirty clothes covering the floor. So I could see that if I walked into his room, I could see a pile of dirty clothes on the floor. What else do you see in a dirty room, in a messy room? Describe it. Tell me what it looks like. Don't just say it looks messy. Don't just say it looks cool or weird. Tell me what about it is cool. What about it is weird. What do you see? And then here, why do you think this? I think this because I've had a messy room before. I think this because I could see it in the picture. How do you know that this is what you would see in a messy room? Once you finish that, you can come on back to the story. Ooh, okay. By the time they got back to Uncle Bud's park, the game was all over. Bummer, said Jumper. Don't worry, Jumper. You'll be ready next time, said Goob. Let's not let it ruin our day. Let's go look for ladybugs instead. Have you seen my magnifying glass? So that's the end of the story. So let's go ahead and fill in our next question. We have the story, A Place for Everything. Talks about the characters. Who are the characters? Jumper and Goob. In the beginning of the story, what happens in the beginning? In the middle, what's going on? Is there a problem? At the end, did they fix the problem? What's going on there? Then you're going to come down here to this question, blog, open up Google Classroom and start a new post. You're going to pick one of these options. If you choose making connections, you need to make a connection to this book. Have you seen something in your own life that reminds you of this book? Have you seen something in a movie? Have you seen something in another book? Or maybe one of your friends? Any of those things that you can connect to this book, tell me about it. Say, oh, I make a connection to this book because I saw blah, blah, blah in this movie. And tell me exactly what happens and why it connects to this book. If you don't want to do that one, maybe you want to do the story continued. Maybe, so you would readers think about what might happen next if the book were to keep going. So you would write about if they kept on going. Did they find ladybugs? Did they find the magnifying glass? Did he play basketball again? What would happen next if the story kept going and the author didn't end it there? So go ahead and pick out one of those and put it on Google Classroom. Once you're finished, make sure your name is on it and turn it in, and then you can hop to whatever activity we have scheduled for today. Thanks.